Up next, I'd like us to look at reflexive verbs and the line past. So now how on earth are we going to do this, right? Reflexive verbs and the line past. To practice, we're going to use apurarse, which is to hurry up. So we have apurar as an AR verb and then the se tagged on, because just as before, this is again another action where Spanish treats it always as reflexive. You have to express it reflexively in Spanish. So remove the se and we're left with apurar. Now we want to express things like I was hurrying up or you were hurrying up. You know, this wasing and wearing with the ing, that's the line past. So first of all, you need to ask yourself if you remember the endings of the line past. Now the key sound is going to be aba. Aba. So we have endings in aba for I, abas, you, aba for he, she, and it, abamos for we, and aban for they. Again, let's do it in real time. So in our Spanish verb dictionary, it's giving us this apurarse and clearly indicating that this verb is meant to be used reflexively. So we start by just as always getting rid of the se, and now we want to express something like I was hurrying up. So we know for I we have this sound apuraba, this aba sound, and we add in the pronoun up front. Me apuraba, I was hurrying. Me apuraba. We can return back again to apurar. And then for you were hurrying, we have apurabas and add in like here, te apurabas. Now, it's very important that you are comfortable already with conjugating in the normal present tense, line past, dot past, because now we're adding in a second element on top of this. So if you're not already comfortable with these being able to conjugate in the line past with these endings, you need to go back and revise that, because otherwise you're going to find this a very steep climb. Because first of all, you have to conjugate the ending correctly here, and then you also have to worry about the reflexive bit up there. So you need to build that foundation where you're already comfortable conjugating in the line past before you make the leap into reflexive verbs. Let's continue. So we have, again, we're starting here. Let's go back here, apurarse. And now we want to express something like he was hurrying, she was hurrying, or it was hurrying. So get rid of the se. Now we have something we can work with. Apuraba and then se. So he literally would be like he was hurrying himself. In English, we would simply say he was hurrying. Se apuraba. This also stands for herself. She was hurrying herself. Se apuraba, or itself. Se, it was hurrying. Se apuraba. Now we come to we. So again, we have our abamos sound, and it would be nos apurábamos, like here. Nos apurábamos, we were hurrying, or we were hurrying up. Then finally, we have they. The ending here is apuraban, like that, apuraban. Se apuraban, they were hurrying, or they were hurrying up. Se apuraban. And literally in Spanish, they were hurrying themselves. Se apuraban. This is how you take a reflexive verb like this, apurarse, and conjugate it in the line past. Just as always, get rid of se. And then it's very important that you're comfortable with these endings, which we've done a lot of practice on in the past already. So make sure that you're standing on this solid foundation before you try to make the leap into doing it or conjugating it with reflexive verbs. You'll find it a hell of a lot easier if you've already built the foundation here from previous levels. Let's try conjugating now in the line past with a different verb. This is going to be a twist because what we're going to use is vestirse, which is to get dressed. In Spanish, this is treated as a reflexive action. I get myself dressed, or she gets herself dressed. They get themselves dressed. They express it in a reflexive way. So we have vestir, to dress, and then se, oneself. Vestirse, to dress oneself, or in English we would say to get dressed. Now the key difference here is that this is not an AR verb. This is an IR verb. So start from the beginning. Let's get rid of this. Vestirse, and again the first step is remove the se. So we have vestir. Now because this is an IR verb, and we're working in a line past, the key sound is not going to be aber or anything like that, because that only applies to AR verbs. If it isn't an AR verb, we get the key sound of ia. So would it be ia for I, ias you, ia for he, she, and it, iamos for we, and ian for they. So you can see all the way down the line, the key sound is ia. Again, let's do this now in real time. So we begin with vestirse, to dress oneself. We get rid of the se, leaving us with something more manageable. And we're trying to express the line past. Literally, I was getting dressed, I guess we would say it like that. Or he was getting dressed, they were getting dressed. Wasing and wearing, right? The line past. So for I, we know that we have this sound of ia, so vestia. And we add in the pronoun up front. Me vestia is I was getting dressed. Me vestia. For you were getting dressed, we had the S, and now it's te. Te vestias, you were getting dressed. For he, she, and it, we go back to this ia sound, and it's se vestia. He was getting dressed, she was getting dressed, or even it was getting dressed. Se vestia. Then we have our mos sound for we. And up front, we match it with ourselves. Nos vestíamos. We were getting dressed. Nos vestíamos. Then they, we have the ian sound, and we go back to se. Se vestían. They were getting dressed.